Welcome to the Possibility Paradigm podcast, where we have conversations that are at the intersection of possibility, consciousness, actual experience, and energetic intelligence. The Possibility Paradigm are actually more than conversations. They're experiences that can change your tomorrows. Let's jump into today's episode. Welcome to the next episode of the Possibility Paradigm. I'm Grace Ambrook, your host. In this space, we have wonderful conversations or interactions that are at the intersection of possibility, consciousness, experience, and energetic intelligence. I've had the most amazing week this week, so it's really inspired me to jump on and create this episode. And one of the things that's come to my awareness this week is the exaggeration of the energy that is poking at people in order to wake up to actually who they are, the full possibility of them and the life that they're creating. So there's been a real, I've been working with people for decades. What I'm noticing is the clarity and the dedication, is that the right word? It's more like certainty of and commitment to shifting stuff that they know is in the way of the truth of who they are. And so one of my favorite expressions is you are the possibility. So I come across people who are doing amazing things in areas that and in ways that you can't, you literally you can't imagine. And here are these incredible people following this instinct, this intuition, this idea, this the sand in the oyster that's annoying that creates a pearl, and then inviting other people into that world as a new possibility, as a new way of being. And I'll talk about some of those in actuality in different episodes. However, this energetic, this momentum is really high. So if you're feeling an extra push, I can tell you the universe is fastly knocking on your door saying you are the possibility. The programming, the trauma may seem extremely real. And I'm going to put my hand up there. When it felt very, very real. And the possibility of actually moving beyond that, reframing it in a way, changing a perspective that shifts, that then enables you to show up as you, to be the business owner, the entrepreneur, the parent, the partner, the creator, whoever or whatever that is. If you're still dedicated, attached, invested, or identified with that being a struggle, then your experience of the fulfillment and the peace that you're looking for will be very slow. It's like the timeline keeps pushing it to, oh, when I've done this, then I will. When I've done this, then I will. When I've done this, then I will, which means that that sense is always in a future timeline, and it's also a gap in your consciousness that puts it in the tomorrows rather than allowing it in the experience of today, and then utilizing or saying or attributing it to the existence of trauma or programming or imprinting. Now, I deal with trauma, programming, and imprinting with people all the time. I'm not saying that it's not a dynamic, but when you work with energetics, you know that it's a pattern, and you also know that any and every pattern can be changed. And it's a mixture, in my experience, of perspective, psychology, and energetics. When you combine all of those three, you can shift things in immense ways that have people actually wondering what on earth just happened. How come I don't feel the same? Because you're not. So, and part of that I wanted to touch on today is that if you're pulled into that, like there's more of me, I'm not happy with this, then deep down there is an inner knowing that that there is more. And if there is more, you too are more. And so the terminology that I use in this is it's like you're more than just a bunch of your human experiences, right? These things occurred in your world, yes, but you're more than that, right? If you weren't, then you're going to stay where you are. A phrase I dislike intensely. You're just going to suck it up, right? Which means basically you're holding on to it. It's like, oh, I'm going to take this on. But if you're in any way curious, if in any way you know you can sense there's another possibility, then you also know that there are some paradigm shifts that are asking to be moved and to be changed. And so this what I want to bring forward today is what if you allowed yourself to actually know that you truly are more than just a bunch of human experiences, and whether you call that your higher self, which is a phrase I no longer suggest to people they use. I invite them to use the word your expansive self. Um, and there is, because higher, lower, we're not higher, we're simply in a different state of consciousness. We are the ones on the ground, on the earth, incorporating our higher consciousness with the current consciousness of the planet. And so when you allow that into your psyche and your circuitry and your consciousness, you'll have less of a battle with and less of a power loss to the human experience only, because although it is valid, it is not the truth. It is not the bigger truth, the biggest expression of you, and it certainly isn't what you came here to lock yourself into, consciously or unconsciously, and then live this compressed life. You didn't come here to do that. I know that very clearly, and I hope you do too. So, and I just want to acknowledge how easy it is to get lost in that place. Um, and we forget our unique possibilities. And what is the possibility of you remembering your possibilities and allowing them to be? Right? And life is often trying to trigger that in you. Like we say, oh, we get triggered, but there's also an aspect where it's like, well, what I term, the universe has just given me a universal wedgie, which it did some 3 decades ago, where, everything kind of disappeared all the stability things disappeared all at once. So, and one of my passions is one of the possibilities that I'm very aware of is that we can uh, raise our consciousness. We can become aware of new possibilities through trauma and drama and difficulty and challenge. That is one way. And I also know that uh, if we do the deeper work, we will come to and allow a different perspective, we will come to a realization of the deeper truth of who we are and the possibilities of who we are through active conscious choice. And so it's not an either or, there's a combination of both. And I also know that the possibility of you will appear more quickly if you enable yourself to let go of the gripping onto the stories that you have and the experiences that you have. So, um, and part of that recognition, um, in the last 12 months in many ways, in the last 12 months, it's become very obvious to me that when the activation of energy from the infinite heart is is allowed, is given space, that the capacity for things to move and shift, it not only, what's the word? It's very challenging sometimes for me to put mechanical, like structural words on something that's actually energetic and infinite. So that's why sometimes I, falter in these. But it's like the activation of that space and that energy within you gives you access to a whole new level of resources. And when you combine that with the capacity to lessen your grip on having to judge things as a way to make choices and decisions, then a whole new vista of possibilities truly does come into your world. So this capacity of the connected experience without words, the connective experience allows that it's like the fortress that we create around ourselves of the imprinting we got from our parents or other areas of influences, the trauma that may be there, and so on, the body memory, and any and all of those things somehow. And one day I will go into the energetics of it with you if you're interested. But if you can just allow yourself be more invested and interested in what is actually possible for you, rather than having to understand why it now seems possible when half an hour later it didn't, like that's that mental body taking over. And in when the mental body takes over, we're a minimized functionality, because the heart wisdom is way greater field than the head wisdom. And activating up this energy and allowing it to be part of what contributes to your possibilities literally starts to paint a different picture in front of you. And where you felt you were gripped by the trauma and the programming of your childhood or various experiences, where you felt that you're gripped those, when this starts contributing to you organically, that grip lessens, and you ultimately then find yourself being different and being in a space. Your awareness grows. It's a mixture of going, oh my God, that's where that was playing out. Oh my God, that's where that was playing out. Not from a position of judgment or making it a problem, but allowing the awareness to create new possibilities. So when I come across something, it's like, oh my God, I've just done that automatically, not consciously. So what else am I actually aware of, and what else might I choose rather than that reactivity? So it enhances your capacity to create from yourself and with yourself in a whole new way. And the way that we see things, the perspective that we have, married with our awareness, it's such an expansive space. And it's that space where where you like the synchronicities, right? The synchronicities that you can receive them, because your perspective is not in the old version of you where you've been abandoned or rejected. Your perspective, when you shift it into you're a part of a multiverse or a universe where equality isn't really even a concept that exists, because it's all one. So how can you be equal to the one thing? Like, right? So when you get to that energetic space, you will see and receive and participate in life very differently from when you're perceiving things through the veil of abandonment and all the reactivity and all the habitual reactive uh, behaviors that come out of that. And I don't know about you, but the possibility of that to me is so exciting. And why would you choose? I don't understand why you wouldn't choose it, right? But that's just me. That's just me. Because these distortions of the emanation of your true self, these distortions of the true possibilities of you are just that. They're distortions. They're not sentences, right? These things were events. And what happens is we make them, for all sorts of reasons, We make them realities. We make them repeating events. And what if they're not? Because in that repeating event at this deeper level, there was a choice to make it a repeating event. And so, what if it's not a repeating event? What if it's like, oh, your awareness can jump in and go, hang on a second, what are we actually going to choose here? And, there's some deeper work around how you perceive yourself, how you perceive life, and how you perceive others. I mean, I've had working with people who they're not even coming to me in about their relationship with their partner. The work that we do together changes their whole relationship. Oh my God, I never saw him or her that way before. I never realized what was going on. And that's because they've been processing it through a veil of expectancy of difficulty, or whatever that personal difficulty might be. And when we remove that veil, then they perceive it differently and everything changes and rolls out differently, from that. And so this is a possibility paradigm. This possibility paradigm can shift things very quickly, both personally and in the businesses or in the organizations that you are involved with, because you are the possibility. You do bring this different awareness, this different frequency, this different possibility. So, just acknowledging and allowing yourself to know that you are more than a bunch of this life's human experiences or any other life's human experiences. You are an infinite being. And that being is that most powerful connective place at this current time is the heart. Not the emotional heart, the heart that is the creative force of this planet. And when you choose to allow that energy, it normally does, in my experience, it requires an activation because it's been locked away to keep it safe. And when in fact it's been the very thing that's been required all this time. But when you allow that energy then to infuse and reorganize your filters, um, then the way that you show up as a business owner, as a receiver of finances, as a contributor to finances, all of those things will change almost organically, like it is weird, right? So you do have to do some work on ease and hardship, because humanity is being programmed to think that hardship is the only route. And what I say is hardship is a is like that's a mindset and a paradigm, a hardship paradigm. So when you are choosing a paradigm of ease, I want to make it very clear, it does not mean that there are not things that are hard that come across your um, pathway. But hard things are not a paradigm of hardship, right? They're two completely different experiences. And so, um, this possibility really begins with this place of getting to be aware of who you are. And when you're knowing that you're not showing up, whether it's in your business or in your relationships, they're the two most things, or in relationship to finances, they're the three most things. It's like when you know you're not showing up as the full possibility of you, then that awareness is a gift from the universe encouraging you to begin to shift it. And so from today's podcast episode, I really hope that it's not, you're not imagining it, right? It's real. please do something about it, either with myself or with other guests or with the people that will cross your path. Because when you truly say yes to finding out the true possibility of you, then you start to set up a cycle and a sequence of patterning that will connect you with that possibility. As long as your veil isn't firmly in place, saying it'll never shift, it'll never change, this will too be hard, I can't afford it, I don't have the time, all of those are veils. All of those are the dismissing of what is calling you forward, the possibility of you. And I do have a free gift on the podcast page, which I'll put the link to below, which is finding your missing piece. And it's actually a workbook. It's a great place to start to explore and open up this possibility of you. So if you, as I said, I put the link below, and it's a free gift, and highly encourage you to start anywhere, right? Finding this missing piece, this gift, because it is a gift. And in so much of, there is so much power in reframing what you saw as a problem and like a sentence in your life. When you are able to reframe that into a possibility of you, into a recognition of something within you that is such a gift to yourself and to the creation of life on this planet, oh my God, you will cry. And it's a cry of recognition of something that has been stuffed away and mislabeled, right? And unidentified and unnurtured. We all know how uncomfortable it can be to be unacknowledged, right? And if there's a part of you that you've named, mislabeled, and it's actually a gift of you, imagine the freedom that's available by acknowledging this part of you and bringing it forward consciously, freely, easily, lovingly into this world. And that is your invitation and your possibility for today. Thanks so much for listening. I look forward to talking to you again soon. Bye for now.